What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake MLB DFS Wise Stream ZK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at ZK_013, and I, of course, am from the WiseTake Nation, which you can find on all the social media platforms listed above, directly at WiseTake.com. If you're looking to take your DFS game to the next level, we are a premium DFS content provider as well as a DFS community designed to help make you a better DFS player. Go check us out. Day Pass is available if you want to try us out. Tuesday night slate, last night, tonight, depending on when you're listening or watching this show, was a straight up disaster, right? Disaster. For some reason, and I will say this, I think the article did all right. The Rays were in my core, they did not do right. But the article overall, right, we had a lot of good pitchers, but I didn't have Fetty in there. Gotta be honest about that. Didn't have him. Not a fan of the Fetty Wap, but did have the Angels in there. And for some reason, with about 10 minutes to lock, I think what started it was, I think Upton was the rule that was out, and I had him in that lineup initially. And I went ahead and swapped him as I was changing and trying to find a replacement, and then I had more money to upgrade other places. I ended up just coming off the team, man. It's one of those things, man. So I earned that L. Pat Bush, what's going on, bro? What's up, CK? I'm cashing again tonight. Hope you're having a good night as well. I'm not, but it got better. Oh, and my man Pat Bush is cashing once again. Shout out to you, Pat, man. I'm glad to hear it. And I know for a little bit you were, we're getting antsy, understandably. But glad you were able to come through, man. That being said, good thing about baseball is we just move on to tomorrow, right? And we've got a 10-game slate to discuss. There's a 3-game early slate, doubleheader action on DraftKings, meaning a 7-inning game is involved. But we're going to cover the main slate, 10 games. You guys know what it is. We're going to start off with top pitching. So the guys that I think will stand out to most people, the obvious ones, Brandon Woodruff, right? Him and Corbin Burns have been on, really all the Brewer pitchers since and everybody was suspicious of them since the sticky stuff thing, right? Everybody was suspicious of the Brewer pitchers. They flashed some pretty big upside games. But as we saw, Corbin Burns again tonight really struggled to strike hitters out. Woodruff had a hard time, just like the rest of the Brewer pitchers did in St. Louis against the Cardinals. This is another division rival. This is a good offense. So I think there's reason for concern. But overall, I do think that either him or Zach Wheeler will get the most attention in cash game SP1s. Speaking of Wheeler, he gets Tampa, one of the hottest offenses going right now. Now, this isn't Philly, so it's a hitter's park, opposed to Tampa's very pitcher-friendly park. But Tampa Bay is losing a hitter as their pitcher, NL rules. So the pitcher's going to have to hit. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to just put this out there. The Rays have been my team this year. So don't be surprised if you see a Rays stack. if you come across my teams, which I think will be very low owned. But in terms of just looking at numbers and just, going off what we think, how we think most people will interpret this data, Wheeler's got to be up there, right? I think the only one in competition or who could throw a wrench in thing, there's two players. One is Robbie Ray. Now, Robbie Ray's facing, first of all, he's cheaper on DraftKings, 8-9. He's been awesome. He's facing a White Sox team that is 4th in WRC plus against lefties with a 174 ISO. They're healthy now, right? They got Luis Robert, Jonathan Adams, what's going on? Eloy Jimenez. They're healthy. So that's what's going to that's what's kind of making this ownership thing a little tougher to predict. Because they're all tough matchups. Cincinnati's not an easy matchup. Wheeler's against the Rays. It's a high upside matchup. The Rays do strike out a lot, but it's not an easy matchup. Rays also hit a lot of home runs and hit well. Even Walker Buehler, who's been super consistent, super solid, faces San Diego. And he may be one of the better tournament options, I think. I say tournament option only because I'm assuming that people, I don't know why, but I think for some reason people won't just go right to him in cash. I think I could see some people going for Wheeler or Woodruff. But maybe I'm wrong on that, man. Tell me in the comments what you think. Luis Castillo, I think, will make for a fine tournament play. Milwaukee is different offense, right? A little more scary. Castillo's not having as good of a year as he's had in the past. Swing and strike rate is still healthy, though, which is a plus. 54% ground ball rate. Milwaukee is not a great pitcher's park, but it is better than if he was home in Cincinnati. I got off topic, but the other one that I could see people grabbing is Ohtani, right? Ohtani's playing Baltimore. Baltimore, not good against righties. Here we go. Just happened to be on them. 24.4% K rate, 154 ISO, 294 WOBA, 86 WRC plus. That's against righties this season. But, it's always a but. This game is in Baltimore, one of the more hitter-friendly parks in the game, and I'm sure it's going to have a high total. I haven't even looked. So, between Ohtani, Robbie Ray, Buehler, Wheeler, Woodruff, it's tough to gauge. I think they're all in the cash game conversation. But at the same time, they have tough opponents. So if you make the wrong decision, it's really going to hurt. Getting deeper, Lucas Giolito is cheap. Very tough matchup against Toronto. I know Dylan Ceesay went out there and he did it. Right, he had a pretty good game against Toronto. Giolito is cheap. I think in tournaments, I don't think in cash games Giolito will be all that popular, but I think in tournaments he will be. Maybe he will in cash. I don't know. Josiah Gray, numbers aren't that great outside of his 28% K rate. That's been cool, right? We just saw Miami get diced up by Eric Fedewap. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him get some love in tournaments. Trendy play. A couple guys I wanted to, one more guy I wanted to discuss with you guys. So, Edward Cabrera. Getting called up. Got to play the Nationals. We know the Nationals are a pesky team, and Nationals, not the best offense, but very pesky. 21.8% strikeout rate, just stingy with the strikeouts. But Edward Cabrera is at home in a very pitcher-friendly park. He's 5K on DraftKings, 7-3 on FanDuel, but you're a little nervous about the pitch count thing, right? So let's talk about that for a second. Actually, got his stats pulled up. All right. So this kid had 2 starts in single A. Then he had 5 starts. This is all this season. 2 starts in single A, 5 starts in double A, and then 6 starts in triple A. Throughout each level, his xFIP was 4.01 in triple A, but ERA was pretty good in all of them. The strikeout rate was the thing that was kind of the craziest. So in single A, through those 2 starts, it was 47.8%, right? Okay. Went to double A, it was 34%. Okay. Went to triple A, and that's where he had 6 starts. It was at 37.2%. So evidently he's got some good strikeouts up now. Triple A, he did accumulate a lot of walks. He had a 14.7% walk percentage. So, that sucks. But he's only 5K on DraftKings. Again, more of a DraftKings play, right? FanDuel, you don't really want to sacrifice your pitcher too much, right? You're probably not too eager to do that. But anyway, just someone to keep an eye on. That's who the cover boy is for anyone, the thumbnail, whatever. People that don't know, now you know. Let's get into top offenses. The Red Sox, I think, will be pretty popular against Bailey Ober. Red Sox ended up doing well late. Looked like they were going to kind of bust, and they didn't. Well, certain players did, right? You had to have, it was like Verdugo, Renfroe. Those are the players that did well. Shaw. But I don't think Devers was okay. I don't think Bogarts did all that great. JD, right? Schwarber did nothing, right? Against Bailey Ober, who's not a terrible pitcher, but this isn't Boston. Boston's implied for 6.1 runs, so expect people to roll with him. You know what I mean? The Angels, I think after seeing what they did on Tuesday night, I think that people will gravitate towards the Angels regardless of who it is. They haven't even announced who the starting pitcher yet. I don't think it really matters, though. Does it? Like, is there anybody they're gonna say that's gonna make you, if you like the Angels, is there anybody in that starting rotation they're gonna put out there that you're gonna be like, oh, I don't think I like the Angels anymore? Probably not. Right? So yeah, I expect other people to think that way too. The Indians, this is about run totals, so they have one of the higher run totals. It's not even crazy high, but it's one of the higher ones on the slate. We don't have a ton of high because obviously we have good pitchers pitching. But the Indians are at home against another young guy, Jake Latz. Jake Latz also demonstrated some pretty decent strikeout stuff in the minors, but from what I remember, I think he had a little bit of a home run problem. I think that's what I remember seeing. So yeah, he was in Double-A first of all. Okay, yeah, Double-A, 13 starts in Double-A. He had a 1.28 home run per 9. He did have a good strikeout rate, granted. In Triple-A, he only had 2 starts. Strikeout rate dipped a little bit, but still respectable. He had a 4 home run per 9. I mean, he was already kind of homer prone at Double-A, right? So I think the Indians deserve a little bit of attention. They do. The Phillies are at home in the Hitters Park against Ryan Yarbrough. If we take a look at Philly against lefties, they did get better. So they still have a 25% K rate. Yarbrough, not a huge strikeout guy, 172 ISO, 103 WRC plus, and a 328 WOBA. So yeah, I think Philly's kind of interesting. Philly's been a little disappointing in terms of how often they've actually gone off this season, but this seems like a decent spot, and why not? And then the Twins, I wouldn't be surprised to see people take the Twins, who put up a lot of runs also. Twins still have some pop, not as good of an offense as they were earlier this year, but they got some pop in there. They'll face Nick Pivetta, who gives up a lot of fly balls. In Boston, one of the better hitting parks out there. This game's got one of the higher totals out there. The other game with the massive total is Baltimore Angels, and people ain't really dying to stack against Ohtani with the Orioles, right? So I think Minnesota would be that other side that people take when they just want to attack the game in general. It's an interesting slate, like I said. Maybe we have to take some shot on some of these better offenses and tougher matchups. Or maybe we just got to get creative with the pitchers and don't be afraid to take the right pitcher in a strange matchup. And, do the dirty that way. Dog watch. And we are out of here. Shout out to those of you coming into the chat. Just pulled it up. I was pulling up FanGraphs so I could read you guys the information. So didn't have to chat up. My apologies. Things to watch. I'm sorry. Things to watch. So Blake Snell, 29% K rate. The other number's not great. He's been a little inconsistent. He plays the Dodgers. He's cheap at 7,500. He's 9K on FanDuel. Keep that in mind. 7,500 on DraftKings. But he's gotten beat up a little bit. Right, especially lately, I believe. What wins out? He looked pretty good against them in the World Series, right? Just saying. Johnny Cueto against Taiwan Walker. So that game is just kind of like there. The Giants were actually the winning slate, the winning stack. I believe that most of the teams I saw tonight had the Giants in there. So there's that. So they're going up against Taijuan Walker, who's been very inconsistent. Second half of the season since making the All-Star team hasn't been great for Taijuan Walker, right? But we knew he was a little lucky. We knew he had regression coming. And then there's Johnny Cueto. Interesting thing about this, and Cueto, numbers aren't that far off from Walker, right? The Mets offense is just that bad right now that you have to consider. And they got Lindor back. They do got Lindor back. They do got Baez back. But the offense is so bad right now that you have to at least look at any pitcher against them. But with Walker, we saw Walker recently pitch really well against the Dodgers, right? I just got to know where the Giants do strike out a lot. So another one. I don't know. Do you think he gets rocked, or is he worth considering against the Giants? You tell me. I don't know. Long watching, we're out of here. Don't forget to check out my article, my core plays article at WiseTake.com for WiseTake Nation subscribers. Get a day pass if you want to try it out. Paulie D does his dirt sheet. Paulie D, the GOAT. With his dirt sheet, our projections and cheat sheets also. You get all that with the day pass. If you're a monthly member or higher, you get access to the Slack chat. I'm trying to get that thing rolling again. Trying to get it rolling. I know Pat's in there doing his thing. Trying to get people fired up. Okay, Don watch. So, Rafael Devers, I'll take a Red Sox just to kind of be an ass. And I'll take a lefty too, right? An obvious chalk donkey. I'll go Franmil Reyes from the Indians. Wanted to attack that. I'm going to go Indians. And then I'm going to go Brandon Lau. Brandon Lau against Wheeler. So I'll say this on a closing note. Like, I know I'm probably going to always talk myself onto the Rays, but it's too late. I already like the Rays to begin with. Wheeler throws gas, man. He throws hard. I think he's averaging, 98? Some shit like that. He throws hard. The Rays swing hard. So probably going to be a lot of strikeouts. Probably going to be a lot of home runs. That's my theory on that. That being said, hit the like button on your way out if you haven't already. Appreciate those of you watching live. Appreciate those of you who took the time to watch after the fact. If you couldn't make it live, for myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, as always, good luck.
Yes.